Hello YouTube, how you doing? Today I'm going to show you how to install the crossbars that attach to the roof rails on a first generation Kona. I have a 23 Hyundai Kona inline. These also work anywhere from on first gen, so anywhere from 16 to 23. The new 24 body styles come out, and I don't think these will be the same for that new body, being that the body is larger on the new one and is also wider. Having said that, I'll go through and show you, I'm showing you right now what the kit came with. I ordered it on Amazon. It's just something from China. I believe the cost was $210. Got it on a Black Friday. Without further ado though, as you can see, there's what it comes with. It shows you that's the front rail and the rear rail. And of course, these are locking crossbars. To do so, you just take these caps off right here, and I'll show you right now. As I've taken one off right here, you can see it unlocks the whole cap once you get the outer cap off. And what you do is you push down on these two corners, use a knife. While doing that, use a knife or a thin flathead screwdriver and pop the top off, and it'll come off right here. And it comes with like a plastic cord, so you don't lose the cap. And then you just lock the cap back into place, and it keeps it'll keep these covers locked onto the actual piece itself. That way nobody will be taking them, hopefully. So in a few moments, I'll show you how to install the actual crossbar itself onto each side. So these four pieces are called the clamps, and what happens is, if you look on this particular one here, you'll see it's got a clamp style that's going to actually hold on to the roof rail that's attached to your Kona already. And this will be the piece that'll allow it'll slide to and put it in position where you'd like it. There's rubber in here, so you must, if you look right here, it's kind of hard to tell, sorry. There is rubber inside, and you don't want to squeeze that rubber. You want it to be naturally fit and snug with the roof rail on the car. So when you're going to lock it down and tighten it, it doesn't, get interfered with or get loose. And these two bolts here, this one and this one, you unscrew these, because right now they're kind of in a closed position. And this should open the clamps up so that you can get them around the roof rails once on the car. I'll go through that here in just a few moments. I see one screw that came in the bag with these. I'm assuming that the screw, because there's two screws to each side or each end that goes into these clamps. So I'm sure there'll be two screws right here that are probably sitting underneath this as I turn this right here. I don't feel them at the moment, but hopefully they gave me the screws or I won't be doing this. So let me give a few moments. I'll unwrap these two rails and find out or the bars, and find out if the screws came with it, so we can proceed further. Okay, I noticed that the screws for this, as soon as I started peeling this away, they're right here. So the manufacturer had already put these screws, which are 4 of them on each bar, they'd already placed them onto the rail itself, or the crossbar. So that's a good sign. The front one, the front rail meaning, or the front crossbar, is going to be a little wider or longer than your rear bar. Which the reason for that is because most roof lines, they go narrower as the roof goes towards the rear of the vehicle, probably aerodynamics. So that's a good thing. It's pretty easy to remember. Plus it's labeled, and this is underneath. So the sticker must be on the bar. Shows you which direction to put this bar facing the windshield or the front of the car that way. And the same with the rear. So once it's on the rear, it'll face this front bar. So good to know they gave us all that information. Good to know the screws are all here and the hardware, because you definitely don't want to have it without hardware. And yeah, so give me a few moments and we'll get out on the car and I'll show you how to put them on. All right, so here it is. I've got it on now. I've got one of them on. I'm out here test fitting it at the moment so that I could show you guys how that rubber is sitting right there. And by how it's sitting just where it needs to be, right on there. So I unloosened these, and you don't want to, like it says in the instructions, you don't want to unscrew them all the way. I don't know if you guys can see this in the video or not, but see the bolts or see the screws? You don't want to take them off of this piece right here. So you don't want to unscrew them from this piece, otherwise it'll be a pain in the butt to get back together. Here's the rubber on this side. If we back up a little bit, you can kind of see how it's on the rail itself. And of course this is the rail. So that's the clamp. It fits, seems like it's a perfect fit. Just the way it should be. And then of course I'll tighten these back up once I have the actual crossbars in, and I tighten the bars up, then I'll tighten this down and then retighten up here a little bit, then pop that cover right back up here, put the lock on, and so forth. I'm gonna do that another day though, only because I wanted to wash my car first, and the sun's getting ready to come down. I just wanted to show you guys what it looks like each step. So there you go. Putting the clamp on, it's pretty easy, pretty self-explanatory, and you can slide it however you want to do it, you know, and then just tighten it down wherever you want to put it. I'm going to put them, the front ones behind here, they're going to go over the sunroof obviously, and then back here where this one is, I'll put the next one here so it goes straight across. But I'm going to do that for another day, and you guys will see it next, so stay tuned. All right, so if you look inside here, I've pulled these screws completely out from up here. And as you can tell, everything stays in place on the plastic. So if you see right there, they stay nice in place. I'm not gonna be trying to fight it while I screw them back in. And then here's the front, right? So the front meaning we're gonna go forward with it. And what should happen is this should just slide right on in here, like so. Now let me grab the other clamp, put it on the other side, and I'll show you guys how to unscrew that real quick too. Okay, so remember the kit came with a screwdriver, tiny little flathead. Okay. Supposedly we just go like this, we squeeze here at the bottom, right? Which kind of is impossible unless you have like 4 hands, so you just try to pop it like this, is what I did. It pops out. Not gonna break it. And you've got this here. Now I'll use the key to unlock the cap here. Take the lid off, then I'll put it on the other side and it'll look like this. We'll get everything tightened back up, then I'll lock these up, pop them in place, and we'll do all that. All right, so next you wanna, I did the other side, but you wanna make sure you tighten these down really well. Now, you don't wanna over tighten these. You just have, you know, you wanna give them a nice snug fit, and you'll wanna test to make sure that they don't, one, you're not stripping the Allen keys by doing it. Come over here, do the other side, try to make it even as possible. Okay, if I can get it in here. So. UPS bringing me another package, or what are they doing? And again, you want to keep this rubber right here solid like this. Want to make sure it's up and down. You want to be able to grab it pretty good. It's pretty snug, right? Doesn't need to be overkill. You just don't want it coming off. I decided to put this one right here, pretty much in the middle, or almost in the middle of the sunroof, with the rubber on both ends right about here where this cap is for the rail. And then the other one, like I said, I want to put back here. This here, I probably should have, it does show in the thing to screw on the bar itself to both clamps and then come over here and put it on the car. It does make it a little bit easier. But I was able to get under here, screw them in place, and then I'll use this key here, this Allen key or star key, to get up underneath it like so. And I'll tighten them down. But I wanted to make sure I had it loose first. You want to keep it kind of loose, figure out where you want them, and then you can put them up wherever you want. Or slide them, or do whatever without dropping this. All right, getting to those was definitely difficult, having it underneath like that. Although, yeah, you can come in here and do it like I was doing under here, which made it even harder. So on the next bar back here, I will definitely put them together first, leave everything loose, and then clamp these where I want them, and then tighten everything down. So I don't know what I was thinking, but probably easier. And if you see, the sticker still says front, towards the front of the car, and the rear says the same thing with the arrows pointing that way. So we'll get that one on next, and we'll wrap this up. The cap is pretty easy to put on. It's pretty self-explanatory. Or the cover, I should say. Just kind of fits on like so. And then we'll turn this to the right. Locks it in place. Pull the key out. Just like this. Cap is on. Then this here just pops back into place, I believe, with these two, like so. There we go. Looks pretty clean, right? All right, let's get the back one put on. As you can see, I've got the bar, and it was easier to put the two ends on, and I left them a little bit loose. That way, when we go to put it on the roof right now, we'll be able to tell where I need to position it. But I gotta unlock these caps first and get these clamps adjusted. And I think on the clamps here, I think I might have them, I think this side here needs to come down over the lip a little better, right underneath. I think I need to loosen it up and slide it down further, because it looks a little off weird on the top of the rail, but I'll check that out. And you can see there's a kind of a bend in it on the top instead of a smooth flush bar. So we'll see right now. Look. As you can see, I've got the clamp down below the lip right here a lot better than over here. So I'm gonna have to unloosen this one and pull this down so that way it gets a nice tight grip. Other than that, that's where I want to place it, right there between those two tabs. Go over the other side. This is all nice and tight. It's right where I want it. Let me put the cap. You have to put the cap back on in order to take the cap off on the other side, because the keys don't allow you to do so. They don't allow you to take each one out. They're like a locking fuel cap. Once you have the key in it, you gotta lock it back up and then pull the key back out. So let me do that, and we'll get the other side. All right, so you can see what I mean, how there's a bend. There's a bend kind of right there. I think it kind of bends up and bends back down right there on the front bar. But on the back one, I just put it on, and you can tell it's pretty where it needs to be. You can see the difference of the two bars. So the clamp needs to be in the front. They need to be pulled down a little more on the sides. But you can see this is a nice smooth, goes across. Right here it looks a little funky because I don't have the cap back on, but just showing you a nice tightened down job. The rail's still loose, the bar itself coming across. I'll position it where I want it, get under there with the wrench and tighten them down. But this is about how the back bar should look. So should the front. So I'll just take those off real quick, pop the clamp down a little more, tighten it up just for security, and we should be okay. All right, here's the package of the tools. I think I'll keep that stuff. All in all, I think it came out pretty decent. They do sit up high. They're not as low as some of them I've seen where they're like, I think the bars are down to here, you know, but I kind of like it that way. I'm good with it. By the way, this is the inline, and these will fit anything with the rails, as long as the car came with the rails, from either 16 to 23, the first gen. Not quite sure about the new body on the 24s. Might want to check out the specs and the dealers with that first before ordering these. By the way, they were 130. I paid 111 on Black Friday, but I just checked they were 138 on Amazon, and I'll post that picture of the screenshot of the Amazon for you so you know which brand they are. Thanks for watching. Appreciate it. Like, subscribe, and have fun with your Kona.